Hello my friends, welcome to the electronic channel. It's Uncle Misha, and today we have yet another cassette deck on top of my bench. Well, this time this is stable. So what do we have? We have Harman Kardon CD401, and this is actually the second Harman Kardon we have in our lab. What's going on? I decided to get another one because I like them a lot. So, and it wasn't costing much money, sold as is, probably gonna be good candidate for repair, but I don't really know what's going on with it. So let's talk about Harman Kardon CD401. This is 3-head, 2-motor cassette deck. Nothing fancy as, direct drive or double capstan and things like that. Nice to have it, but this is budget 3-header. Well, budget in a way, but so it has whole bunch of buttons here. It has separate bias control, separate equalization control, which is kind of interesting. All right. It has meter stuff like after rewind, replay. This is when you hit some specific values at the meter. Then it has the most cool and interesting feature is bias tone and rec tone calibration. So all these things are for record calibration, which is awesome. Obviously, 3-header, it has monitor and source. It has noise reduction BC in HX Pro, which can be turned on and off, which is interesting. And timer, typical stuff. Off rec play, it is off. Very beefy line level button right here, which allow you to adjust left and right separately. Fader, which I don't know why I need that. Output level, which is nice because you can drive the headphones. And microphone level, which I don't know whoever gonna use. Bias, fine trim, which is very nice. So these are nice features to have, but it also has a relatively decent level meter right here. Also, it has digital, I think 3-digit counter, tape counter. Awesome. So let's look at the back. So back is not as simple as you would say. So first of all, it has 8-pin remote, the DIN connector for the remote. It has also input for low and high. I assume this is like, you need to take a look, but one of them has certainly higher level, expected level of input signal. And output is, I think it's not fixed output, it's like depending on the output level. And also it has Dolby noise reduction playback calibration. So technically here you can tweak playback level, which is awesome. So yeah, as you see, this cassette deck is not just simple a cassette deck, it has a little bit bells and whistles. So let's try to power it up and see if it works, or if it doesn't work, what's going on. Okay, it powered up, and let's see what's gonna happen. Huh, it has this rumbling noise. Okay, let's try eject. Let's try to, okay, I need to remove this to do that. Oh yeah, I removed many times. Okay, play doesn't work, rewind works. I think I know what's going on. And the capstan shaft is not rotating. We definitely have busted a main drive belt. So that has to be addressed for sure. Okay, what else we can test? We probably cannot test anything else in this point, but it's not too bad. So let's take it to the bench and see what's going on inside. All right, so we have this beast on the bench. This guy is pretty heavy, Harman Kardon CD401. So let's take it open and see what's going on inside. Okay, screws are here, and let's see. Oh yeah, that's familiar picture. That's familiar picture. Very dirty, of course. I use this tool to take a look what's going on with the belt. Okay, belt is very stretchy. Okay, let's take a look what else is going on here. Interestingly, capacitor was spoken too soon. So yes, some of the capacitor, like this capacitor here, is leaking for sure. What else? Alright, definitely leaking capacitors in this area for sure, because the resistors are... Okay, this capacitor is not looking good as well. Power supply capacitor is hard to tell. Oh, I see some greenery. Oh my god. It's not cool. I see some greenery, but that greenery could be not because of the leaking, but because of that glue compound, which actually used to secure this capacitor in place. With time, it absorbs some moisture, actually corrosive as well. That's a potential problem. Yeah. Yeah. Or we have I see some corrosion right here. Yeps. Yeah, in general, it's more or less okay. What's up? Oh, flashlight is, I guess, dying. Cool. Okay, that's okay. The major problem is here. Need to understand what's going on with the tape Mac. Let me power this dude again and see. Meh. So what's annoying about this cassette deck, that you have to remove this guy in order to... If I press on the belt, right, it's... Yeah, belt is just super loose. Well, luckily it didn't turn into goo, it just loose. Okay, well, that's good and bad news, because good news, belt is not goo, but bad news, I don't have a belt. So I have to clearly get the belt, or in the meantime I can use some kind of crapo belt. Okay. Should I like take everything apart here? Well, at least we did some first... Oops, that's dangerous, by the way, you know. It is very dangerous poke around here where this thing is powered. Obviously the whole board needed to be very nicely cleaned up, because it's collected dust here where the vent is, and here where is the another vent is. So yeah, this is horrible. Lots of capacitors need to be replaced, but I have replacement capacitors, it's not a problem. First of all, I need to deal with tape Mac, and now I need to replacement belt. Let me see what's going on. Not following. Yeah, this is the problem. So what happened essentially, a little bit engaged the flywheel, and it did pick up, and looks like now to figure out how to disengage the head, because it's all the way up. I forgot. I've done it once and I forgot how I did it. Looks like this also needed to be lubricated. Right, let me see. Okay, so yep, I noticed a whole bunch of capacitors which need to be replaced, but it's kind of obvious because it was the same problem with the other cassette deck. So this cassette deck is actually quite a lot of work. What I've noticed also, or please pay attention here, there's a whole bunch of potentiometers right here. You see this row, 8 of them, okay? So this is bias adjustment for all 4 types. This cassette deck actually has chrome, ferrochrome, a normal and metal. This thing supports 4 types. So technically we can tweak one of the, like for example ferrochrome for something else, for like for example 2 types of metal or 2 types of chrome. That's totally possible, because chrome, ferrochrome and the metal have the same equalization of 70 microseconds. So yeah. And what's cool about this cassette deck, as I mentioned, you can pick your own like equalization. What's going on here? It's scaring me. So yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4 bias controls, and for equalizations are the same, but this is different. Okay, so this actually all hookups to the same filter, and this one is only one is different. All right, so what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna take the audio oscillator and put some signal and see if this thing even shows something. I'm not gonna record anything, I'm just gonna turn it sort of in record mode and kind of expect it to show like at least some input signal, right? Okay, so my oscillator is connected. I have to put it in. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but let's see. Okay, it did. The source. No, it shows nothing. Yeah, the level meters are dead, so I'm supplying, unless I'm supplying small signal, but no, nothing really. So meters are not working. No, wait, there is some signal. Okay, so I was wrong. I think I was wrong because I was using too low of a signal, and I measured this. My multimeter, it was like 0.04 volt or something. It was like better mass. Now it's 0.4 volt. Okay, and we do show something. You see this? Oh my god, this is so hard to see, but there is something. Anyways, so those meters are working and the signal is coming through. Obviously, and this one is dirty because when you rotate it, signal disappears, and then so this has to be cleaned, and probably everything has to be cleaned, but it's good news. It's a good news. So not everything, it's not dead. Technically Dolby chips are okay. Well, at least 2 of them, which are for recording. Okay, that's not bad. So now I have to think about it, how I'm gonna start this guy. So I won't be able obviously to play anything before I get the belt, so I need to order the belt. I think it's only single belt, because there is also when you pulled out this tape Mac, which is not easy to do, but that's, yeah, there is also a pulley. Sorry, not pulley, the idler. So this thing has idler, and idler could be in a rough shape, but let me check that. So I'm gonna do rewind and see. That's actually, it's not too bad. It has some torque. Yep. If you try to hold the reels, one of the reels, you can feel the force, and if there is a quite serious force, that means that the idler is still okay. It has the grip and it's not warped, and there is no weird noises. So this is actually positive. This is positive. Okay, I like it. At the end of story, I can just put I don't want to put the cassette, but like rewind a few times back and forth to see if this is actually gonna do something. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop for now. I'm gonna continue when I'm gonna get belt, but nevertheless the cleaning is hard, because some of these potentiometers is very hard to reach actually. Yeah. Oh, and counter is working actually. See this? Counter is working. Okay, counter is good. So yeah, so on the other cassette deck I have, counter is wibbly wobbly, so somewhere at bad contact here, but in this cassette deck is working. So maybe making 1 out of 2 working, but this is too expensive to make 1 out of 2. Yeah, and I'll be also checking what capacitors I need, because looks like I would have to, well, this is hot as usual, actually this is quite hot. I would have to replace these guys, because I don't think they look good. In other cassette deck I did replace them, but I'm just not sure if I have another set of capacitors for all these. Okay, modern capacitors are actually pretty good. Yeah, okay. The first gonna be actually, probably this thing needs to be complete tear down, because everything needs to be cleaned. All the switches are actually dirty and they need to be cleaned quite well. All this dust has to be washed. I'm probably gonna wash it technically, and or blow and then wash with alcohol or something, because then they're gonna see how bad are those capacitors are. Yeah. So I think this is, you know what, I'm gonna wrap up at this. I'm gonna say stop at to this video, because this is kind of part one, is like first impression and analysis. So we know there is a problem with the bulb which needs to be replaced. You know, this thing needs to be cleaned, and definitely a whole bunch of capacitors need to be replaced. Definitely all of those blue ones, and looks like some of the green ones, which are TKs, has to be replaced as well. There are only a few Rubicons which are light blue and few Elnas, and usually these capacitors are lasted, they are good. Probably going to be replaced as well. But if you're going to be replacing all of those capacitors, believe me, this is like shitload of capacitors here to replace. A lot. It's like, I don't know, 20, 10 microfarad, 50, 10 microfarad, 16 volt, and about 15 or 16, 1 microfarad, 50 volts. So all that crap has to go, and then have to check for any other leaky capacitors. I think these guys are candidates. I saw some bigger ones leaking as well. Like over there, for example, there is one actually on its side. I can see it's corroded. So yeah, and it's TK. So TK is usually better, but still are leaky. And a whole bunch of capacitors right here. Those are actually filtering caps, like these guys too. They are filtering caps for Dolby chips. They are not in a signal path, but they are important because they are filtering caps. So that these two are filtering caps, and the blue ones are in signal path. So this and these has to go. But in the filtering caps, we have to take a look what's going on there, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but if this cassette deck is working, it's actually really nice. Alright guys, I think that's gonna be it. So with this huge amount of work, we're gonna wrap up, and please stay tuned for more videos. Like, comment, we'll be happy to hear from you, and yeah, stay tuned, see ya in new videos, stay safe, and ciao.